Are the Igbos the problem of Nigeria or its solution? This is because a self-appointed prophet, Primate Ayodele, has been quoted to have said in the video that you will see that the Igbos are the problem of Nigeria. So we're going to look at his narrative, which is coming at a time of intense Igbophobia fueled by the Tinubu administration since its inception. Because if you look at the Igbophobia issue, it has never had the kind of intensity it has now. It had never had it now. There are so many Igbophobic supporters of President Bayo Tinubu. And we're also going to show you a video that alleged that this Igbophobia has presidential support or seems to have presidential support, because if not so, those who are doing it will not continue to do it. And you will discover that most people who are Igbophobic are supporters of President Bayo Tinubu. So we're going to look into that to find out whether the Igbos are the problem of Nigeria. But before we do that, we have to watch the video. Then we'll watch another video again. The first video we're going to watch, and then we'll talk about it, is the video of the self-appointed prophet talking about the Igbos. Watch.
Igbos, they are tired of this world called Nigeria. Hausa is not the problem, but the Igbos. Any Igbo can go against it. You can lambast me, you can insult me, it's not my business. It gives me courage, it gives me more glory and blessing. Your insult. Igbo, they are the problems of this country. They are desperate of power. They want to rule Nigeria at all costs. And I've not seen them ruling Nigeria, even in coming dispensation. Let them bring, when 10 trillion will come out. Igbos, they are betrayal of themselves. People cannot control Nigeria. Let's be realistic. Let's be honest with ourselves. But they don't understand. Instead of them to seek wisdom, they are flexing muscle. And that's not the answer. That's what Tinubu does not even know. Obasanjo, who is advocating for them, they are the one who spoil it. All these Obasanjo, Yakubu Gowon, who are they? Many of them. So Obasanjo wants to make an amendment now, when it's too late. Tell the Baba to go and sleep. We can't make any amendments. Igbo, there is an error at the beginning. A curse is on you. If you don't reverse that curse, Igbo, you can't be president of anything in Nigeria. Note and underline wisdom, understanding, knowledge. That's
Prophet Ayodele saying that the problem of Nigeria is the Igbo and not the Hausa. But because he's an ethnic bigot, he didn't also mention Yoruba. So maybe there are some people who are telling him, he said not Hausa. For those who are thinking that it is Hausa is the problem of Nigeria, he said that it is Igbo. Now, does this man qualify to be called a man of God or a prophet? My answer is hell no. Why did I say so? For him to be speaking a kind of prophecy that is utterly false. Why did I say it's utterly false? The God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the lineage through which Christ came, is not a God of confusion. So, in one breath, he said that Igbos they are tired of Nigeria, that they are fed up with Nigeria. In another breath, he said the Igbos are doing everything possible to dominate Nigeria. In another breath, he said that Igbos is doing everything to become president. And he said even 1,000 P2B can never give them president. So the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, through the lineage, through this line that Jesus came, can never be the God he's talking about. It couldn't have been that God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob that used to give him these so-called prophecies he talk about. So that is taken care of. So he is just doing political permutations, speaking his own personal thoughts and alluding it to being spiritual guidance. Okay? So you know that God couldn't have spoken to somebody like that. Then he said that the Igbos are cursed. That he said the Igbos are cursed. I don't know why he felt that the Igbos are cursed. I don't know how he got that revelation. But that revelation couldn't have come from God, because the Igbos are about 99% Christian. So the Igbo race being about 99% Christian, they cannot be cursed. No Igbo Christian, no Igbo who is a Christian, or any Christian for that matter, can be under any curse. And to show, that's how to show you his illiteracy when it comes to understanding the gospel. Because even though yours truly, I'm not a pastor, I've never claimed to be one, but if he had been humble enough to go and read Galatians chapter 3, verse 13 to 14, this is what Galatians chapter 3, 13 to 14 say. He say, Christ has redeemed us from the curse of the law, having become a curse for us. For it is written, cursed is everyone who hangs on a tree, that the blessings of Abraham might come upon the Gentiles in Christ Jesus, that we might receive the promise of the Spirit through faith. So Christ was hung on the tree to take our curse. So whatever curse anybody was bearing when they hung Christ on the tree, his death and resurrection dismantled every curse. Therefore, no believer in Christ is under any curse. Anybody telling you that you are cursed, that's why you have not achieved any purpose, is a Yahoo. It's a Yahoo prophet. Anybody telling you it's because of your curse, the curse you are under, when you are a true Christian, then that person is a Yahoo pastor, a Yahoo prophet. Because you cannot be under a curse when you have accepted Christ as your personal Lord and Savior. So that shows how incompetent he is to talk about things of the Spirit, to talk about things of God. Okay, so that shows that he is wrong in saying that the Igbos are cursed, that and all that. And then I have shown you that God is not God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Is not a God of confusion. So he is a Confucianist. What he says shows confusion. So he couldn't have come from God. Whatever he's saying in that his pulpit, he's just giving his own personal opinion, his own thoughts, what he thinks should be. Okay, he's not speaking the mind of God in any shape or form. Okay, he's just like every other APC supporter or Tinubu supporter. That is what it is. But we are going to address the core issue, whether the Igbos are the problem of Nigeria or its solution, when we come back. Because we are going to watch now a video that is said to be at the root of even the ongoing demolition of Igbo properties in Lagos. Okay? A lot of people, there are all kinds of interpretation about what the Igbos are passing through in Lagos, where their properties are demolished, even when they have papers to prove that they were allocated the land where they developed by the Lagos state government. But these days, the Igbos are passing through hell in Lagos in terms of losing their properties, billions of naira investments gone through the drain, even demolition going on in the night. But first watch.
Ọba máa rìkọ́ọ̀dì, a máa lọ gbé gbogbo àwọn òrìṣà Èkó. Wọ́n bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní àwọn ipò tó wọ́n lè ní ọjà tí máa rì. Ipò tó bá lè ti fẹ́ Yorùbá ká jogún ẹ̀. A máa jogún yín ni. A máa jogún gbogbo ipò tó wà lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ nìyí. Wọ́n lọ ṣe máa ṣe nìyẹn. Ogun wa lẹ́ máa jẹ. A máa ṣe ìyíjà. A máa jogún yín ni. Agbára jẹ́ ìgbẹ́ ṣe bá ṣe nífẹ̀ẹ́ yìí tó ẹ̀bà ara jẹ́ àwa kan bínú ọmọ wa sísáàbì tí wàá lọ bímọ fún Ìgbò. Ṣé kí n lọ kó Obieze wa? Obieze lẹ ti gbà bọ̀dé. Olórí Obieze lẹ ti gbà bọ̀dé. O ti lọ mú kámẹ́rà wa lọ sílé ẹ̀ ní ẹ ti gbà bọ̀dé. A máa jogún yín ni. Àwa la máa jogún yín. Àgọ́ wa ló máa dáàdì ẹ̀ ń bẹ̀. A máa jogún yín. Láì ṣe fẹ́yìn nìkan ni aráàlú. Hausa wà ní àgbà wọn láyè. Calabar wà ní àgbà wọn láyè.
That was the wife of the president of Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Remi Tinubu, before the 2023 election, during their campaign period. She spoke in Yoruba. Those who have interpreted it, what she was saying, who have interpreted it in English, allege that she was saying that they will chase away Igbos from Lagos and take over their properties. That they will chase away Igbos from Lagos and take their houses and land. That's what I was made to understand was the interpretation. Now, if that interpretation is true, it therefore means that what Governor Sanwo-Olu is doing in Lagos, in which he had embarked on what the Igbo Town Unions Association call ethnic cleansing of the Igbos in Lagos, has the support at the highest level of the Nigerian government. That is what it means. Because look at it. Despite everything that the Igbo property owners are passing through in Lagos, the presidency have never said any word about it. They cannot claim ignorant. These are the presidency that remembers people's birthday. Every now and again, they celebrate somebody's birthday. There was one person is 79 today, they will remember. Somebody is 20, 30, they will remember. As long as it's somebody that they feel that they should. So they cannot claim that the issue of demolition of Igbo properties in Lagos had not caught the attention of the of the Lagos state of federal government led by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Even the deputy speaker has said that he will beg Tinubu. So Tinubu is aware about the issue of the Igbo properties being demolished in Lagos. Okay, so if you go by this video that of the First Lady of Nigeria, it means that the Igbophobia you are seeing has support at the highest level. Why they are not talking about it now is because nobody has drawn the attention of the international community to it. Then you begin to hear stories. Then that's when they will respond. But for now, as the Igbo property owners are dying in silence, although they have written to the United Nations and all that. Once he get traction now at the international sphere, you see them act. And also remember, Lagos International Trade Fair. Lagos International Trade Fair is owned by the federal government. There were demolishable properties in that place. President Bola Tinubu failed to protect Igbo properties in federal government land and allow Lagos State government to do whatever they like. So you can therefore excuse those who are saying that, look, the Tinubu administration, Tinubu himself, his wife, they are aware of what is going on. It is all part of the agenda, and it is that kind of situation that this self-appointed prophet is exploiting. Okay, since you can see how he was boasting that he don't care whether they criticize him. The more they criticize him, the more benefit he gets. In other words, whoever is sponsoring him, the more attack he gets for attacking the Igbos, the more financial reward or whatever. Because I don't think that what his benefit is that he's going to go to heaven. Okay, it is what he will get here on earth. That's what this is all about. Okay, so you look at people like Bayo Onanuga. Remember that Bayo Onanuga, after the Igbophobia that swept Lagos following P2B's victory, and they did what they did, threaten Igbos in Lagos not to come out. Only they are coming to vote for APC. Bayo Onanuga had the mind. That time Tinubu was still president-elect. Bayo Onanuga had the mind to say that the 2023 election is the last time Igbos will interfere in Lagos election. What is interfere? Igbos, they are registered voters. They pay tax in Lagos. They live in Lagos. They have a right to vote. But Bayo Onanuga, who the president-elect eventually promoted to a position he is holding now that is of ministerial cadre, was lifted up to the level he is, indicating that Tinubu sanctioned all the things he was saying about Igbo. He was even doubling down. Even when his attention was called to it, he said he doesn't care. So you can therefore understand why Igbophobia is more pronounced among supporters of Tinubu, especially among his supporters in southwest Nigeria, where this prophet, so-called or self-appointed prophet, is one of them. Now, let us look at one issue. He said that the Igbo is the problem of Nigeria. Do you think that the Igbo is the problem of Nigeria? I do not think so. I do not think so. I think that the Igbos are the solution and not the problem. Now, if the Igbos are the problems of Nigeria, Nigeria would have been better. Are you getting it? If the Igbos are the problem of Nigeria, then why is Nigeria like this? Why did I say so? No Igbo has been president of Nigeria since the Fourth Republic. No Igbo has been president of Nigeria since the Fourth Republic. Okay? Yet, the problems of Nigeria persist. The problem of underdevelopment, the problem of insecurity, the problem of corruption. Nigeria is one of the most corrupt nations in the world. Nigeria is the poverty capital of the world. Nigeria has the highest illiteracy rate in the world. Nigeria has the highest number of out-of-school children. In fact, somebody said that there is no local government in Nigeria where you have pipe-borne water running everywhere in that local government. That is how terrible Nigeria had been, and no Igbo had been president of Nigeria. Today, insecurity is sweeping the whole of Nigeria. No Igbo had been commander-in-chief of the armed forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria since the Fourth Republic. Now, for the record, Nigeria has had presidents from Southwest, Obasanjo, and now Tinubu. In the Northwest, we have had Buhari and Yaradua. Okay? And then in the South, we had Goodluck Jonathan. These people are not Igbos. So if the Igbos are the problem of Nigeria, why is it that their absence from Nigeria's presidency has not achieved development for Nigeria? Because the problem, according to Ayodele, is the Igbo. But the Igbos have not produced any president, showing therefore that they cannot be the problem. Those who are the problem are those who are running the country. If there is anybody to be apportioned any blame of being the problem of Nigeria's underdevelopment today. And even if you go beyond the Fourth Republic, which we are in now, you go down since independence. Zik became president of Nigeria he became president of Nigeria when Nigeria became a republic in 1963. When Nigeria became a republic in 1963, he became president from 1960 to July 1966, when the coup took place, the first military coup. So Zik was president of Nigeria for about 2 years and 3 months. 2 years and 3 months. Okay, you can say 2 years and 3.5 months. Then Aguiyi Ironsi, an Igbo, became president, head of state, for 6 months. 6 months and 13 days. Just give it 6 months. So if you combine Azikiwe and Aguiyi Ironsi, the Igbos had produced somebody who had led this country for just about less than 3 years. So, and if Nigeria is known for being a basket case, both in Africa and around the world, the Igbos couldn't have been responsible for it because they have not been in charge. The Igbos are even the victims of Nigeria that led to the pogrom. They were the victims. When people talk about let Nigeria not happen to you, Nigeria first happened to the Igbos. So the Igbos are not the problem of Nigeria. The pogrom that started in the north that took 30,000 lives, and then the civil war that claimed over 2 million lives. Nigeria has happened to the Igbos. The Igbos are the victims of Nigeria. So there's no basis for anyone to suggest that the Igbos are the problem of Nigeria. I have given you. So when you look at those who have been ruling Nigeria, calculate their years in power, then you can be able to know who has to situate those who are the problem of Nigeria. Okay? That's how you will know. The Igbos are the solution. I believe that the Igbos are the solution. And that is why I'm using this opportunity to say, we have tried the Yoruba, we have tried the Hausa Fulani, and Nigeria is still a basket case. Albert Einstein said that insanity is doing the same thing all over and expecting a different result. My thinking is that Nigerians should give the Igbo a chance to become the president of Nigeria in 2027. And that Igbo is the best candidate. He was the best candidate in 2023. He remains the best candidate going to 2027. I'm talking about none other than Peter Obi, the presidential candidate of the Labour Party in the 2023 election. So the Igbos can show the solution. They can show the solution. And there are examples to show you that the Igbos are the solution. Don't forget that after the Civil War, the Igbos were given 20 pounds, no matter how much they had in the bank. But Igbos were able to rebuild from a genocide level situation. From a genocide, the Igbos were able to. Today, people praise Rwanda, how they were able to rise from the genocide of 1994, 1995, to become what Rwanda is today. The Igbos were the first people in Africa to suffer genocide, and they were able to rebuild from ground zero to up. Some of these things, I captured it in my book, The Igbo Phenomenon. It's available on Amazon. I'm trying to create my personal website where I'll be selling it too, so that you can be able to buy it, get it online directly from my website. I will soon do that. But the book is available on Amazon, both in hardcover, paperback, and e-copy. They are available on Amazon. Okay, so the Igbo were able to rebuild. So that is a lesson that they can bring to bear in Nigeria today. And if you look at the Igbo, they have contributed a lot to the private sector economy. And they are probably the highest taxpayers, even in Lagos, that people talk about. Lagos is the economic capital of Nigeria today. Much of the tax that Lagos is boasting about originates from Igbo investment in Lagos. Okay, I can debate it with anybody with that facts and figures on that too. Okay, now when you look at the issue of corruption, we know that corruption is nationwide, but some of the biggest corruption in Nigeria has not been attributed to the Igbos. If you are like, look at the Dasuki Gate. Was that about the Igbo? Look at the Malabo oil scam, the pension fraud, and all that. They are not Igbos. I'm not saying that Igbos are exempted, but just to show you that the Igbos are not the people that you should look at as the problem. They are even the solution. Look at what they have achieved in education. The Igbos was behind the Yoruba in education, because the Yorubas first get access to Western education because of their nearness to the sea. Okay, the Europeans came through the sea. But once the Igbos discover the benefit and the beauty of education, the Igbos, in one single-minded pursuit of anything that is of interest to them, they were able to overtake the Yorubas. Still today, Igbos are ahead. Some people can argue what they like. The data don't lie. That was why when University of Ibadan became full-fledged university, the first Nigerian vice chancellor of University of Ibadan was Professor Diken. The first vice chancellor of University of Lagos was Professor Eni Njoku. The thing was, the Igbo dominance, because through academic excellency, was so loud that even Akintola, the premier of Western region, was lamenting on record that why is it that University of Ibadan is in Yoruba land Why is it? And the University of Lagos in Yoruba land. But when you go there, that Igbos are dominating. They were not dominating for anything. It's just as a result of excellency, pursuit of education. These are the kind of excellency that the Igbos have brought to Nigeria. I don't want to dwell so much on it, but I hope that this video is getting too long, has dispelled the notion that the Igbos are the problem of Nigeria. I do not think that the Igbos are the problem of Nigeria. They are indeed the solution to Nigeria's problem. And just look at the array of people who have been forced that the Igbos have produced. Chinua Achebe is the first Nigerian writer to get international acclaim. We are not talking about people like what Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie is doing, what Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala has done. Just look at the women of Nigeria that have headed the World Bank. They are all Igbo women, showing the academic excellency that come out from the Igbo women, which other Nigerians could copy from. We're talking about the entrepreneurial spirit of the Igbos, which you can go and verify from Aba and from Newi, okay? Because today, Aba is the largest indigenous manufacturing cluster in the whole of Africa and generating millions of jobs in Nigeria. Okay? So the Igbos have a lot to bring on the table. And those who appreciate the Igbos outside Nigeria, they're also reaping the benefit of associating with the Igbos and stuff like that. And even the insecurity we are talking about in Nigeria, Southeast remains one of the safest places in Nigeria until the APC came to power and did what they did. That led to all kinds of agitations. And then there are all kinds of allegations of alleged state-sponsored violence in the Southeast. That's a story for another day. But in all, in summary, I would say without a doubt that the Igbos are the solution and not the problem of Nigeria. The self-appointed prophet lied. That's my take. But whatever is your position, let's hear from you at the comment section. Thank you for watching this video. And if you are new to my channel, you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel, hit the subscription button, hit the notification bell. When you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, anytime I have a new video, you'll be among the first to know. God bless you. And please don't forget to like this video, because when you like it, God will rank it high and recommend it for more people. Thank you, and God bless you and yours.